What is up, guys? Team Yugi Fields here, and today we're going to be doing a special deck profile. A lot of people requested that I do a budget Burning Abyss list from my other Burning Abyss video, because I did include a very large chunk of money cards in that of just Forbidden Droplet and Lightning Storm alone. That alone makes the deck roughly $500, close to that, not even including everything else. So to kind of like basically show you guys how you can play this deck without breaking the bank, we have a budget list today, and I'm going to show you guys the Tour Guide combo at the end that you can do with this deck. It's more than just Tour Guide. It could be just Tour Guide, it could be Rhino Warrior and a Burning Abyss monster, or it could be Graph and a Burning Abyss monster. So there are multiple ways to get into this. But I'm just going to showcase the deck profile first, and then we'll go into the combo portion of things. But we have 3 Skarm and 3 Farfa. I think that this is just completely necessary when you're playing on a budget. Maxing out on these 2 is probably your best route into getting your deck to function a little bit better. It just kind of helps having more names in the deck. That way you can actually summon cards out more quickly and go into your plays. So definitely, I think 3 and 3 is probably your proper ratio here. Then moving into the 2 ofs, 2 Graph, 2 Seer. This is, it was a gift. Honestly, this is this is a godsend gift. I really can't complain. I'm very excited about this. So 2 and 2 is just going to be necessary in every single BA list. So definitely play 2 and 2 of those. The 1 ofs though, 1 Barbar, 1 Calcab, 1 Libic, and 1 Alec. You don't have to play multiples of any of these. If you were to play multiples of any of them, it would be Libic, because you're playing the Phantom Knight engine in here. So to avoid your BA monsters being automatically popped, you use the Libic to summon your BA monsters from hand so they aren't destroyed. And that's why a long time ago, like back in 2016, when PK Fire was really good and popular at that point, a lot of people were playing 2 Libic because it was just really good to avoid that whole destruction scenario. And then we have the 1 Alec in there too. That's just it. But like honestly, you don't have to play multiples of any of this. This is all just kind of standard. Then 3 Tour Guide and 1 Rhino Warrior. So I only play 1 Rhino Warrior. Honestly, I don't think that it's completely necessary to play multiples when you're playing the Phantom Knight engine. The Phantom Knight engine really boosts your consistency and your ability to do some really crazy plays. So I opted to just stick with 1 Rhino Warrior, and right now I think it's perfect. If anything, you could probably cut like Alec, or you could cut like 1 Skarm or 1 Farfa to play another one, but I honestly would stick with playing just the 1 for now. I'm playing it in my regular list, so I'm just doing like 1 in my regular list too, so it's just not as good when you already have Tour Guide at 3. Then 1 Sea Archiver, which is really important for the combo that we're going to be doing with Tour Guide and any other of the aforementioned combos that I had mentioned, being that of Rhino Warrior in a BA or Graph in a BA. So it's the same combo regardless. I'm just saying there's multiple ways of opening it. And then lastly, we have the Edgem Sabers here. This card's really good. It doesn't come up as often, but there are times where it does come up. So keep that in mind, that this card can definitely be a game changer to kind of give you more resources on your field. Then for the Phantom Knights, 3 Boots, 2 Cloak, and 1 Glove. This doesn't need an excessive amount of explanation. If you've ever played this deck before, this has basically been the ratio for a long time. There was a point where people were playing double gloves, and I don't think that double gloves is correct now. I think you just need 1. This card doesn't come up a lot. Honestly, it's just Cloak and Boots that come up a lot. But you just play this as another name, to be perfectly honest. So it's kind of worth it, kind of not. Depends on how you look at it. But basically, your Boots are going to banish, search for your traps, and special summon from hand. And then the Cloak is going to search for your Boots or your Ragged Gloves 99% of the time. So, and then Ragged Gloves just dumps a Phantom Knight card from deck to grave, which doesn't come up excessively, but when it does, it can be good for sure, because you can dump one of the traps and really put some plays forwards. Then we have 3 Ash for the hand traps. This can be, if you don't want to pick up Ashes, they could be Veilers, they could be Ogres, whatever you want to play, if you don't want to pick up the Ashes. But I think the Ash is probably the best selection without, without playing 15 other hand traps or playing Imperms or something. So definitely consider playing the Ashes. If you want to play something different, you could consider Gamma package, but I don't think that's as good personally. But moving on to the spell cards now, we have 1 Foolish Burial. That should kind of go without saying in a deck that relies so heavily on the graveyard. Definitely consider playing your 1 Foolish Burial, because typically it's going to be another extender for you, which is exactly what you're looking for 99% of the time. Then we have 3 Allure Darkness. This is basically going to be our draw power in this budget deck. It's super important to have some sort of consistency, and this helps considering you're playing an excessively large amount of dark monsters. I mean, you're talking, let's see, that's 18 plus 6. You're playing like 24 dark monsters, I think. So Allure Darkness is just going to be live 99% of the time. So definitely consider playing this if you're playing on a budget. I think it's better than Desires, because Desires, if you lose double Graph or double Seer, you're just crying, which is not fun. But yeah, those are the spells going on the trap. So we have the triple Dynamiscus, the triple Fog Blade, and the one Shade Brigandine. The Brigandine is kind of important because the Brigandine helps you complete your combo, which is kind of the key part of this deck, is to complete that initial combo. You know, going first. So definitely consider playing the Brigandine, because that's definitely gonna help you out. Fog Blade should need no explanation. It's basically a Fiendish Chain on crack cocaine, which is awesome. The card is really good. And then Dynamiscus doesn't need a lot of explaining. Anything that's face up that you want to get off the field, get rid of it. Pretty simple. Moving on to the extra deck though, triple Dante and 1 Levier. The one thing you can change is that you could cut it down to 2 Dante, because honestly a third one doesn't come up very often, and you could just play a second Levier. A second Levier is probably a pretty good bet considering you're playing the Phantom Knights. It's just really good to have more ability to access your Banner Stone, and having the Leviers there would definitely do that. But if you want to play triple Dante and 1 Levier, you could also do that. It's kind of preference. I just want to show you guys like the rough skeleton that you can go with and give you like the compare and contrast of what you can do. So it could be either 3 Dante, 1 Levier, or 2 Dante, 2 Levier. Whatever you want to do, just change it up to your liking, and tell me what you think about that, obviously. And then the Beatrice is just a mandatory, like you have to play this card. It's just, she's nuts, absolutely nuts. So Beatrice is our homegirl, she's our best friend, and of course she is our mommy. That's the most important part. Then we have 1 Pilgrim. Doesn't come up excessively often, but you're gonna have one person always that's like, oh, I don't care about Pilgrim, like it doesn't bother me. And then like you draw multiple cards off of it, and you get multiple special summons off of it through like Graph or Seer, and then your opponent's like, oh, I really should have like not let you play that. It's like, oh yeah, probably not. But moving on to the links, we have a Cherubini, our favorite Luigi Cherubini. He's our best friend here. He's part of the starting combo, which is really important. So keep that in mind. You could play 2 of them if you wanted to, but I think 1 is more than acceptable. I don't think you really need multiples of it. Then we have a copy of Masquerena. Masquerena is really good. I love this card. Being able to play the Masquerena is going to access you into a bunch of different plays that are going to basically allow you to pop off on your opponent's turn and allow you to secure a probable victory. Honestly, like that's really crazy how well this works in conjunction with the rest of the deck. And considering you're sending a lot of cards to graveyard through the Nightmare effects, you know, from discarding from hand, it helps you trigger a lot of stuff too, which is crazy. Then moving on to the Nightmare cards, speaking of them, we have Nightmare Cerberus, Nightmare Phoenix, and Nightmare Unicorn. These cards overall are just really good tools in the deck. They just kind of do a lot for you, to be perfectly honest. I really enjoy playing these, and the Unicorn is really important to the Masquerena package too. It just comes up fairly often, so definitely keep that in mind. Then we have a Rusty Bardiche. This card is just, it shouldn't have come back, but like in this deck, I'm happy about it. Other decks, I am 100% not thrilled about this card coming back. I get that Phantom Knights are getting support, but this card is one of those cards that needed to stay banned for a reason. And for whatever reason, Konami did not think about everything that can happen by bringing this card back. So now we're in a bit of a disaster point if this card really starts to take off like I think it's going to. Then we have for some other links here, we have a Trisbana, a Zeroboros, and an Apollousa. The Apollousa can come up with the IP play too, which is really cool. And the Zeroboros comes up every once in a while. You do banish a decent amount in this deck with the Phantom Knight engine, so, and the Allure Darkness. So like honestly, and considering it's every banish card, Dynamiscus also helps. This card's really good in this deck. Like, it's really good. I enjoy it. And then the Trisbana is just for an excessive amount of back row. That's kind of obvious, though. You're always going to bump into 1 or 2 people playing an excessive amount of back row. So the Trisbana definitely helps. Moving on to the extra deck, though, we have an Artifact Lancia package lineup here. This is pretty solid against a lot of decks right now. I mean, Dinos especially. Dinos are absolutely nuts right now. People are not even, you know, considering the fact. Like I watched, who did I watch? I think I watched Simo's top 5 meta decks today. He put Dinos at number 5, which my jaw just about hit the floor. Because Dinos is probably the deck that I'm seeing played most frequently at all of the top tables on Dueling Book. Almost every single top table is Dinos. And if it's not, it's Dragon Link. Like, those are the 2 that I'm seeing more than anything. So, I think that his video is completely wrong, but I think that a lot of his videos are completely wrong. I used to be a huge Simo fan. Now I just can't watch him anymore. I can't stomach it. It's not, it's never accurate as it is. It's just for the money, which is sad. But moving on to the other cards that we play, the Kaiju package blends very, very well in Burning Abyss. And this is something that was popularized a while ago. I want to say back in 2018, 2017, whenever, what was the set? I think it was Invasion of Vengeance. No, whatever set that that Imperm came out in, I can't remember. But the set that Imperm came out in, and I think the Nightmares as well, there were a lot of Kaiju BA lists that were just randomly topping regionals. So keep in mind, this is a good package, and it's actually pretty good against Dragoon as well. So considering Dragoon is so popular in the meta, this might not be a bad thing to consider. Then we have some Twin Twisters, just for more back row. That doesn't need any explaining. And I don't play Cosmic because Twisters, you can discard cards from your hand, which with your Burning Abyss lineup gains you a lot of advantage. And then lastly, we have the Solemn Judgment. The Judgment is just there primarily to facilitate going first. If you know you're going first, card's really, really good. You could probably side out the Ashes and put in the Judgments if you know you're going first, or just something else that you feel isn't necessary to go first with. But I think the Ashes can probably come out for the Judgments at that point. So, like, if you know you're going first, you just side them in, and you just go from there. But I'm going to go ahead and just toss this up on the screen here. We're going to go to Duel Room here, and we're going to go solo. And I'm going to show you guys the tour guide play that you can do. And we do have to do this. We have to kind of like set this up real quick. This is simple stuff though. Like, honestly, the reason that I love playing this deck is because it has so much variation to it, and you can do 15, 20 different things with the deck. There's so many routes that you can go. Alright, so we have a tour guide now. So what you're going to do is you're going to normal summon your tour guide, and you're going to use the tour guide effect. And you're going to go ahead and do one of 2 things. You're either going to grab Graph or you're going to grab Rhino Warrior. I think grabbing Graph is the best choice. So we grab our Graph. Now we're going to link here. And we are going to make our Luigi Cherubini. Then our Graph will trigger. We're going to summon a Seer. That's pretty important. And then we're going to use our Cherubini effect, and we're going to dump the Sea Archiver right there. Now we're going to link 2, and we will make our Rusty Bardiche. Our Seer will trigger to special summon the Cherubini, which will then trigger the Sea Archiver because it was summoned to a zone that the Rusty points to. Now we're going to use the Rusty effect. We're going to send a, Cloak. A Cloak will go to grave, and then we'll use the Cloak effect by banishing itself. And we're going to go ahead and search for a Boots. Now we will special summon the Boots in defense. We can now overlay these 2. Oh, I'm sorry, and we're actually supposed to set off of Rusty. That's why you send the level 3. So you can set the Shade Brigandine. I always forget to do that. I don't know why I forget. That's like the one thing I forget to do with that one combo. Is like you're supposed to set. Like, that's the effect that you're doing. So you summon Levier now with your 2 level 3s. You detach, and you're going to summon back the Ancient Cloak. And then you can activate the Brigandine. Move it up here. And now we have a lot of options we can do. So I'm going to show you like basically what the best route probably is. So you're going to send these 2 to grave, and you're going to grab your Masquerena. Now you have one of two options here. First thing that you're going to do is you're going to banish the boots, and you're going to grab a fog blade. That's number one. So we've now got fog blade in our hand. Now you have one of two options here. It's fully up to you. Now keep in mind, this is just off of tour guide. You're still going to have 4 other cards in your hand. You can do multiple things. One of the things that you can do is you can leave your board as is, because Masquerena can turn into Apollousa, or you could just make the Apollousa now with the Masquerena, the Cherubini, and the Ancient Cloak. Or you could wait until your opponent's turn, and you could use the Masquerena to make something else. That's also a viable option. You have that option of doing that as well, which could be the Unicorn. You could use the Masquerena and the Cloak to make Unicorn, and then discard and shuffle a card. This will obviously be set too, which is really nice because then you can activate it on your opponent's turn. But honestly, if you wanted to do something as simple as this before even ending your turn, and just ending on the Apollousa, it's not a bad thing to do, because honestly right now you have 4 monster negates between the Apollousa and the Fogblade, which is really good. So that's like something super simplistic that you can do that works really well. There are other ways that like you can work around it. If you like wanted to amp the deck up a little bit and play like the Union Carrier engine, and then you could also play the Buster, and then you equip the Buster to the Rusty with the Union Carrier, and then you IP with itself in the Union Carrier, and then you make like a Crusadia Avermax. That's also a viable option. So there's about 15 different ways of doing it. But that's just off a tour guide. Same thing goes if you open up Graph and another BA monster, because you normal summon the Graph and special the BA. And then same thing with a Fiendish Rhino Warrior and a BA monster. You normal summon the Rhino Warrior, you special summon the BA, then you link both into Cherubini, and then you just go from there. You send your Graph to graveyard off of Fiendish Rhino Warrior, and then you summon Seer from deck. So there's multiple different ways of getting into this combo, and multiple ways of ending it. So that's kind of the nice part. You don't have to play Dragoon. You can play other cards that work equally as well. So keep that in mind. It's a very simplistic and fun combo for the most part. It's pretty quick and easy to learn, and considering it's only 1 card, it's really something you can't complain about. But that rounds it up for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed the deck profile, and I hope this was helpful to everyone who's looking to play this deck on more of a budget, because I know that some of my profiles I do include some cards that are a little blinged out, if you know what I'm talking about, you know, all the good stuff. But like I said, hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, give the video a thumbs up. Don't forget to let me know what you think in the comment section down below. And for right now, this is Team Yugi Fails signing out.